The ultimate mini crawler of the year. That's what Furitek is calling the new TerraX Active Pro 4-wheel steer. This is the rig right here, and it looks pretty impressive, guys. But of course, we got to check it out even closer. So let's head back to the workshop, and I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about this factory upgraded, ready to run. So the tires are dirty, and that's because I already got the performance drive in. Little spoiler, it is an incredible rig to drive. Wait until you see the action. But first up, we gotta go over the features, starting off with the body, which is an injection molded body. Little odd for a competition style vehicle, but this is a cool body nonetheless. I love that it's dovetailed in the rear. We got these large arches so the tires don't catch, and it's very minimal. There's no windshield or anything like that, no interior, no lights. Just the definition of a truck style body, and it is held on with magnets, which is pretty cool. Now, if you're into the competition thing, that's really not my thing. I just like driving performance rigs. This might be a little heavy for you. You might want to swap it out to a Lexan body, but for me, this is going to be absolutely awesome. Love the look of that. I'm probably going to go take some old graphic decals, put it on the sides, maybe paint this front grille area, but let's check out this chassis now, and this is really cool. Full carbon fiber chassis on this. So you've got plenty of mounting options for all of your links and your shocks, and they even have cross plates here that are carbon fiber cut out so it doesn't weigh too much. Like the placement of the battery up front over the front links, and a simple Velcro strap to hold it down. There is also a carbon fiber deck for the receiver. Good looking chassis though. And here's the important part. So the skid area, it's on a 10-degree angle and it's very minimal. So there's got to be a lot less scrub right here. The plates for the magnets, those are machined aluminum. Those magnets are glued inside. Man, this is a really good looking chassis. Nice and simple. Onto the drivetrain now. So we've got their stellar transmission mounted in the center. This has an aluminum case on it. A little carbon fiber plate on the back, precision gears on the inside, then these metal slider drive shafts down to the front and rear axles. These look pretty heavy duty. I even like that they're using normal screws in it, because some of those plastic axles, they use a coarse threaded screw. Not my favorite, but this looks like a pretty good setup here. And then they partnered with Hobby Plus for this. So these are Hobby Plus portal axles, and unlike most Hobby Plus axles, this one's loaded up with bearings. Hobby Plus usually uses a bronze bushing in their axles, so that's a bonus there. All metal gears on the inside, metal portal gears, a little slab of grease in there just to lubricate everything. And then you can see on the outside, they have the Hobby Plus brass hex weights. And before I forget, they have the 1.5 millimeter pins in there, which are the upgraded pins. But as you can see, because of the brass weights and the large axles that they're using, it has a really wide width to it. It pushes the tires out. So when you're steering this thing 2-wheel drive, it might push a little bit on you, but since this is a 4-wheel drive steer rig, that's gonna help compensate for that. Into the suspension, they've got the Hobby Plus shocks on here. These are oil filled with aluminum caps. Feel really good. One was sticking just a little bit right out of the box, but since I drove it, looks like that broke in. Again, plenty of options as far as shock mounting locations. Then they gave us these machined aluminum links. These are pretty cool. I like that the bottom of the links are now rounded. There is a little bit of slop in the suspension. And speaking of slop, let me go back to the drivetrain. A little bit of slop in the drivetrain as well. That's actually a pretty decent amount now that I've driven it, a little bit more than when I pulled it out of the box. I guess everything's settled in. But that's just something to watch out for when you drive. When you're crawling up something and you unload the transmission, it might roll back on you a little bit, and that might be able to be taken away with a little bit of shimming, maybe on the ring and pinion. I think that's where some of it might be. So definitely look into that if you're hardcore crawling this thing. And then on all four corners are Hobby Plus wheels and tires, and hidden under the tire is actually brass rings in each of the wheels. So you got a bit more weight there, which is very cool. These tires feel nice and soft. They always feel grippy here at the workbench. It's good for trailing, but as far as just steep inclines, it tends to have a lot of tire spin. And then let's get into the electronics now, guys. So we've got a Furitek Metal Gear high torque front and rear servo. This is pretty cool. So you got 4-wheel steer on this. You've got the aluminum links. You don't have a aluminum servo horn though. This is plastic, so just be careful with these. These might snap depending on how bound up you get this thing. And then we've got the Furitek Unity system here, the Komodo Unity motor. Here's the speed controller right in front of it. It's an Outrunner style motor, really smooth setup. 2500 kV. This is really popular since it came out. It's got the Bluetooth setup as well, so you could use their app to go and make adjustments to this system. And you are gonna have to supply a battery pack for it. Here's a look at the connector. Just be aware that does take a 2 or 3S battery pack. And then here is the Furitek micro receiver, and that links up to the Furitek radio system. Now, again, this is 4-wheel steer, and the really cool part about this is this thumb knob in the back here is your rear steer, and this is your front steering. Obviously, there's your throttle. Now, the only thing with the rear steer is this knob here is really touchy. So if you have your thumb up here next to the radio system and you just bump it ever so slightly, it will start to steer the rear of it, and it doesn't return to center. That's kind of a downside there. You have to basically bring it back to the neutral point, and you'll hear a beep. So it's got an audible alarm that lets you know that it is centered. So when you're out there driving, it just helps a little bit. And the last thing you need to know about it is its price. It's $299.99. And with everything on here, guys, before even driving it, that seems like a pretty good deal. I don't know if it's the best deal for a true competition driver. For those of us that, again, like high performance rigs that have all the goodies on it already, maybe you don't want to build up your own, and again, you just want to go out for fun. This is a really well loaded up platform. Back at the Reservoir, RC drivers absolutely love this spot for micro crawlers, and it's going to be perfect to run the TerraX. Let's get right into a nice slow crawl here. Look at that. Barely touching the throttle. Looks so good. All right, now we're gonna get into a descent here. It's gonna be a little notch, I bet. Yep, that's because we crested the rock. Down, and you know what's absolutely awesome? Seeing the motor spin in the tailgate area there. That tailgate deck, very cool. Love the look of that body. It needs a little bit of style. It would have been nice if they maybe included a wrap for it. Maybe some guys are gonna come out with wraps for it. Just step it right back up in the same spot. I'll give it a little bit more throttle. Perfect. Nice, easy movements, consistent. Plenty of cool obstacles here. We'll test out the suspension next, get this thing flexing. Look at that. No tires grabbing on the body. Love that. See how much control we have going down the hill here. This first drop could be pretty gnarly. Could even pop that body off. I wonder what it takes to pop the body off while driving. Maybe if it hits a rock or something on the side. But look at that. Wow. Just making its way. No problem, no effort. Just slight throttle input and just letting the rig do the work. So obviously one of the big features is the 4-wheel steer, and it's actually pretty easy to get used to. You do, again, have to center everything yourself. So, I mean, if you just leave it alone, it's gonna hold that position. And I actually found holding the radio flat like this is a little bit easier to control it and just understand it as you go. Adapt to it. And again, if you just listen for the beep, you'll know when it's centered. Yeah. Pretty easy to get used to, guys. I always want these Hobby Plus tires to work, and depending on the surface, they do. But as far as, you know, just getting some real grip, you could see it sliding there. And I'm wondering, you know, they're soft. I'm wondering if maybe if I cut some of the lugs out, alternate cutting some of the lugs out, maybe the lugs are just too dense. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I mean, they've got the brass rings on the inside, so you got that extra weight on those tires. And even the brass hex hubs. But depending on the surface, I mean, you know, oh, that's how you pop the body off. As I was saying, depending on the surface, you probably want to go get an upgraded tire. So that might take a tick off calling this the ultimate crawler, mini crawler, I should say. Another uphill crawl. I will say that this rear steer is pretty sensitive. I mean, I've nudged it a couple times and it's just like gone full steer on me. But speaking of full steer, that 4-wheel steering does come in super handy to really tighten up the corners. So the system will take a 2S pack or a 3S pack. I've got a Gens Ace 2S pack in here, and it is quick. I mean, that's definitely faster than a walking pace. It's even getting some air off of some of these rocks. Down the hill. Whoa, this is sketchy. I mean, that's almost vertical. Nice. TerraX is a pretty impressive crawler, guys. I mean, really good partnership here. Furitek with Hobby Plus. Really loaded up on the cool options that you don't have to buy. Everything is assembled. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and I'll have links for this in the video description.